Germany to investigate former fighter pilots accused of training Chinese military. Taiwanese politicians commemorate the Tiananmen massacre, while politicians in Hong Kong stay silent. Germany to join Indo-Pacific fray with 2 warships in 2024. Taiwanese received personalized signatures on battlefield artillery after donating to Ukraine. Germany's defense minister said Berlin would examine a report that former German fighter pilots have been training the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP's, military pilots. German news magazine Spiegel and public broadcaster ZDF reported on June 2nd that at least a handful of former German Air Force officers are employed as trainers in China. Their salaries are allegedly channeled to them via Seychelles-based companies. According to the report, this training arrangement has been ongoing for years. While some pilots did not provide a response or could not be contacted, one individual denied the allegations. Spiegel reported that German security officials think the pilots have shared valuable military expertise, including classified operational tactics of German forces and NATO. When questioned about the report while visiting Singapore, German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said, "Every individual case must be examined." Pistorius noted that there are clear regulations regarding the post-service activities of military personnel, including the obligation to disclose specific engagements. He also said rules about confidentiality requirements are clear for former service members. He said, "We will do that thoroughly, and all transgressions will be punished. That is completely clear, though it is clear that service people can take on other jobs after their service ends, but within the bounds of our laws and within the bounds of their obligations." After meeting with his Chinese counterpart at the Shangri-La Dialogue on June 3rd, Pistorius revealed that he called on the CCP to stop enlisting former German military pilots for the training of its forces, saying, "I have made it clear that I expect this policy to be stopped immediately." Pistorius added that the Chinese defense minister did not deny the practice of recruiting former German military pilots, but downplayed its importance. The presidential candidates in Taiwan all held memorial activities for victims of the massacre perpetrated by the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP's, military at Tiananmen in the early morning of June 4th, 1989. Nikkei reported that Vice President Lai Ching-te, presidential candidate for the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, said in a memorial speech, "We sympathize with the Chinese people's pursuit of democracy." A theater in Taiwan showed a Hong Kong play named 35th of May, showing how the date June 4th is censored in China. Lai mentioned the play and noted that it shows that democracy and autocracy are the biggest differences between Taiwan and China. Meanwhile, presidential candidate Hou You-yi of the opposition Kuomintang Party also noted that June 4th is a tragedy of suffering for our compatriots and a painful experience for the ethnic Chinese nation. Ko Wen-je, Taiwan's People's Party's presidential candidate, said, 34 years later, the Chinese people still have not stopped their pursuit of democracy and freedom. In contrast to Taiwan, Hong Kong politicians kept quiet about the Tiananmen massacre commemorations. Since the CCP's regime imposed a harsh national security law on the island in 2020, almost no major memorial activities have been held in Hong Kong. Although before that, the island that was supposed to have autonomy has always led the world in memorial activities for hundreds, even thousands of people who died at the hands of the CCP's military on June 4th, 34 years ago. The Hong Kong government has not yet concluded that commemorating the victims of the Tiananmen massacre is a crime. However, in reality, they are acting to prevent people from holding activities to condemn the crimes in Tiananmen. Police and armored riot vehicles were deployed over the weekend around Hong Kong's Victoria Park, the site of an annual candlelight vigil that attracts thousands of people. No candles have been lit in Victoria Park for the past few days. Instead, a stage has been set up by CCP supporters to mark the 26th anniversary of Hong Kong's handover to the CCP, even though it's almost a month away. Germany has said it will deploy 2 warships to the Indo-Pacific in 2024, in support of the rules-based international order in the region. The plan was announced on June 4th at the Shangri-La Dialogue Security Summit in Singapore. According to Reuters, German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius stressed the importance of upholding rules-based international order and safeguarding major sea routes. He is quoted as saying, "To this end, the German federal government sent a frigate to the Indo-Pacific in 2021 and will again in 2024 deploy maritime assets, this time a frigate and a supply ship to the region. The area has been roiled in territorial disputes for years, with China becoming more coercive and aggressive in asserting territory. Such ambitions have been ruled by an international tribunal as having no legal basis." Germany's announcement came as China began to make dangerous rebukes against the US military presence in the region. First, a Chinese fighter jet intercepted a US spy plane on May 26th. Then, on June 3rd, a Chinese Navy ship cut across the bow of the US guided missile destroyer USS Chung-hun twice. Pistorius noted that the development is not targeting any particular country. Instead, he said the warships are dedicated to the protection of the rules-based international order that we all signed up to and which we all should benefit from, be it in the Mediterranean, in the Bay of Bengal, or in the South China Sea. The region already sees increased presence from the US and its allies to promote a free and open Indo-Pacific, much to Beijing's distaste. Washington kicked off a joint naval drill with Japan and the Philippines on June 1st, and is expected to wrap up the exercises by June 7th. Some Taiwanese are raising cash for Ukraine. They received inscriptions written on the shells, acknowledging their contribution to the forces fighting against Russia. On June 2nd, the Twitter account at Nikita32156 posted a photo of a shell with the words, "Taiwan stands with Ukraine," from Tim Xu. The caption of the photo reads in Chinese as, "Taiwan Tim opens fire." According to Taiwan News, the photo may have been taken by a Ukrainian soldier in a rain-sodden trench. Lai Zhengwei, a former chemist and war analysis blogger in Taiwan, told Taiwan News that Xu asked him about the artillery donation via Twitter. Lai shared that a Ukrainian veteran living in Poland is fluent in Chinese. This person has a Twitter account with the name Nikita. Nikita began the campaign to raise money for Ukraine starting May 15th. Those who donate will receive their personalized signatures on the shells that the Ukrainian army used on the battlefield. Xu told Taiwan News that he is a teacher in Taiwan. He learned about Nikita's campaign on Twitter. Since Xu was unable to donate directly to Nikita, he donated through Lai. Since Russia launched the war to invade Ukraine, many experts, as well as public opinion around the world, believes that China's regime will probably do the same with Taiwan. The Taiwanese believe they may suffer the same fate as the Ukrainians, so they have shown support for Ukraine. Meanwhile, China's regime is said to represent an ambiguous stance towards the Russia-Ukraine war. There have been comments that the CCP regime has implicitly supported the Putin government's invasion of Ukraine, and if Russia succeeds, it will create motivation for them to invade Taiwan.